All right. Welcome, everybody, to our live session with Driver Rehab Center of Excellence. This is our fifth session now. This month is Disability Pride and Independence Month, which we did have to do a little bit of research. And we have this screenshot up here, just a little bit about it with the signing of the ADA in 1990. And this month, we decided with Independence, we would feature three of our staff members, which we are so lucky to have, three of you. Josh, Jesse, and Julie. Couldn't make it any more difficult with three J names. So they're each going to get to tell their story. If you're just joining us, there is a chat box in the lower corner. If you're on Google Meet, you can submit questions in the chat box. We're going to let each of them share their story, and then we'll have a group discussion and any questions at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to Josh and let him introduce himself, not only as his role with DRCE, but anything else he wants to share.
Sure, I'm Josh, and so in 2009, I was part of the 1st Battalion of Marines that was deployed to Afghanistan, and during my deployment, I was riding in a Humvee, and unfortunately, we ran over an IED, and from the IED blast, it front flipped the Humvee I was in, and unfortunately, I sustained multiple spinal cord injuries, making me C5, C6 quadriplegic. And by the grace of God, I lived. And, during my recovery, one of the things, that I was, looking forward to or, in life was getting back to, what were the chances of me getting back to driving? And I was at my care, I was getting care at a VA spinal cord hospital. And they had a KT there that, did different tests on me and, said that, yeah, you definitely have the cognitive ability to drive and there shouldn't be any issues. And then, a few months later, they had another person come in and, we went out and he's like, yeah, there's really no issues for you to drive. Well, the process we had turned out to be a lot more difficult than just having a therapist tell me that I had the ability to drive again. Where do I go about finding different, organizations that can help me figure out hand controls? How do I figure out what vehicle to buy? Like, how do I get through all this mountain of paperwork to do? And after all of this process, I was fortunate to hear about a lady at Walter Reed named Tammy Fipps. At the time, she was Captain Fipps, eventually retired as Major Fipps, and she was the first person who was able to not just tell me that I could drive again, but actually got me on the road, got me through the entire process that where I could independently drive a vehicle again. And that was a big life change for me. And I'm just one of the 400 wounded warriors she helped at during her time at Walter Reed. And so after that, we had stayed in touch. And, because I was now independent with driving, I was able to go back to business school. And we were still talking. And, she told me her idea was, that she wanted to become independent to leave the government and to do her own driver rehab program. And, I was like, well, I just finished business school and maybe I can give you some business tips and maybe I can help you. And it turned out to be a very big project. And so, I said, why don't we just become partners? And you know, with the, I think the real mission, and I'm so proud that we still do today, was let's create a company where we're not just about driver rehab. We can tell people that, yeah, they can drive again, but I really want to have, create a business where they get really, when they come in the door and they go out the door, driving, right? I want people to have independence driving again, just like me. And where do you want to go, Trista, from here?
So I'm gonna have Brandy. So Josh, I pulled some pictures of you off of, I think, our Facebook,
Okay.
our website. I had to
Okay.
find a couple. I had a hard time finding appropriate pictures of everybody. And just to highlight, what we were trying to show.
Sure.
So yeah, I think so. What was your kind of what's your role with DRCE now, or what are you doing? Like, we're
Yeah.
highlighting, disability and independence. What I mean, you're a busy man. What all are you doing now?
Yeah, well, it was really great that I was able to really apply skills like I said, the skills that I picked up in business, and I'm still able to do a lot of things for DRC, kind of behind the scenes. um, Everybody else is. I always say, like, I always ask my friends, and whenever they ask me to, for financial help or business things, I'm always delighted to help them because I'm always like, well, if you had asked me to paint your house or work on your roof, I wouldn't be able to help you. But when it comes to accounting and financial statements and helping the operations of the business, it's really nice to be able to contribute um, still to this community.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the pictures that I chose, but we have you and Tammy at the grand opening, which I'm going to do a small plug here. In one more year will be our 10-year anniversary of that grand opening, and we're going to make it bigger and better than ever. Also, I put a picture up of you at Braun.
Oh,
So you had
great.
the opportunity to go to Winnemac to Braun. And what are you driving with? What's your driving setup?
Yeah, so today I'm very blessed to have a Traverse and Braun. I was very big on, for me, of course, I drove a minivan for 10 years. And well, I was very thankful to have a car, being a single guy, it kind of felt out of place, and they did have, they've had trucks and the different things and different, like, different guys have liked that adaptation. But my thing was being able to drive from my chair. And that's a really big thing for my independence. It's independence with my energy and my shoulders. And so when Braun basically came out with an in-floor ramp, that basically changed the game. And as soon as I saw it, and the first one I ever actually saw in person was one of our patients, Joanna, who I happened to go to college with. And when I saw her car, I just fell in love. I was like, I have to get one myself. And I told all the DRC, and it was a big project. And obviously, I'm my own customer, and I really enjoy driving my Traverse today.
All right, let me see. Yeah, and then what other businesses do you have going on now, or what are your other business
Yeah,
ventures? I know you've dabbled in a couple different areas.
yeah. So today, as being the CFO of DRCE, I am work as a financial analyst, and I'm a private business appraiser. So
Yeah, yeah. If you guys are ever looking for a good nap session, give Josh a call. Ask him anything about finances. Josh, okay, I have to know. Have you read all those books behind you?
yeah, I actually have. My claim
I
to
knew
fame.
that was going to be the answer.
When I tell clients, I go, I read every private business valuation book ever rented. They're like, oh, it's true.
Yeah, no, I've been sitting here. I'm like, I bet Josh has read all of those books. There's probably notes
Yeah,
and
it's
things
a
are earmarked.
yeah, a lot of bowel care sessions. So that was my thing back in the day. So
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Stick around because we may get questions for you at the end. But now I'm going to flip it over to Jesse.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to push Julie out of the way.
Just stick her under the desk.
I'm joking. I love Julie. I'll share the spotlight with her. So my story is a lot like Josh's, except completely different. So I got injured in 2014 in a snowboarding accident. I was on leave. I was in the Air Force. Freak accident left me as a quadriplegic. I'm a C6, C7. Function as a C8, so I'm a fake quad. I have more hands than I should. After my injury, I went to Chicago, and then all of a sudden they sent me to Walter Reed. And when I got to Walter Reed, nobody knew what to do with me. I was kind of lost in the system. They PCS'd me, even though they weren't supposed to. So, and then somebody introduced me to Tammy Fipps, and all of a sudden she seemed to know everyone, and I had therapy the next day scheduled. So it was thanks to Tammy, and I kept bugging Tammy. I want to drive. I want to drive. But the problem was when I left Chicago, my last day in Chicago, I lost my wallet. And so, and it was the second time because they lost my wallet when I broke my neck. And apparently with Washington State, if you want a driver's license, if you lose it once, it's easy to replace. If you lose it a second time, you got to get stuff notarized, and then you send it to and then it takes forever. And so my license took a couple months to come in. So I'd show up at Tammy's office and I'd say, hey, can I get on the schedule? And she's like, do you have your license yet? I was like, no, but it should be here soon. And she said, come back to me when you have your license. And then a week later, I'd show up and say, hey, can I get on the schedule? And just kind of repeated over and over again until she finally, till my license finally came in. So after that, we got on the road. Driving didn't seem all that foreign at that point. I don't know if it's because I grew up driving or riding motorcycles, and controlling things with my hands wasn't completely out of the question. So I had the joy of doing it like during the snow and everything at Walter Reed. So I got to really test out and see how good of a driver I still was. If you ask my wife, she will tell you driving saved our marriage because she was tired of driving me around places. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then after that, I've been around at DRCE ever since they've opened. And let's see, as far as what I drive, I have a van that I drive about 90% of the time. I also have a truck. I don't drive it very often. My daughter's actually stealing it for college. So, and then I have a Studebaker that one day will be able to be driven. 1950 Studebaker that DRC is going to do the custom hand controls and everything in. Outside of that, as far as work goes, I'm working on my master's of OT. I finished my certified occupational therapy. I'm licensed in that now. I've had a house flipping business, done a few different things along the way. And my extracurriculars up is wheelchair rugby, pushing marathons, anything that keeps me busy and moving. So
Yeah, Jesse, you've done quite a bit. I feel like you're
shooting, swimming, track and field, Invictus games, Warrior games, vet games, all sorts of different stuff. Air Force marathon, Disney marathons.
I think, Brandy, do you have the pictures? So I pulled a couple of the pictures that the students used for their presentation. So I'm hoping this makes it to some of our previous students and maybe future students. But yeah, but Jesse's been an integral part of, we get groups of OT students come through here from local OT programs, especially Shenandoah. And it was funny, they wanted pictures of Jesse for their presentation, and I sent them that one on the far left of Jesse in his track chair with the gun, but they were not allowed to share that in their school presentation. But I like that. But you were competing there, right?
Yeah, I was at NRA Nationals. I actually won a national championship there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the center picture, do either one of you want to explain what's going on there?
We were OTing it.
We didn't bring a step stool, so I couldn't hang the banner. And of course, he couldn't hang the banner.
I'm really lazy.
Yeah, obviously. And then Marcus was there too, but he just refused.
Marcus is lazy and has working legs.
Stood slowly, his hands shaking, but his words steady. Judge,
Saying something.
hear that, Ben?
Sorry, guys. I was on the phone with the VA. That's one of those things.
That's right. You were. You're not even making that up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you guys were out at a marketing event
Yeah.
promoting DRCE.
And we needed to hang the banner. I don't know what else to say.
And only one of us was tall enough.
Yeah. And he was too busy not worrying about it.
Jesse was like, just stand on my lap. And I was like, are you sure? It makes sense though.
I mean, my daughters do it all the time. So
Yeah. And Jesse, I think a big help for us is when we get any new clients with spinal cord injury, and Josh too, if we need you guys to come be peer mentors, peer support. One of my favorite things to do here is have I call it a spinal cord party, where we just gather as many spinal cord injuries as we can, because we get them often newly in their recovery, and you guys are many years out, and you're able to provide peer mentorship that us able-bodied can't always do. And I think it's really cool too how you guys have been able to share resources, equipment. If only Jesse would get more of his equipment out of our shop and into other people's homes.
hey, there's a trailer for it to go, and everybody keeps using the trailer. Don't blame me.
But I think it's
need the
been,
trailer. I need the trailer at this point.
See? Blame Marcus, not me.
yeah, but I think like not only connecting you with other veterans that we've, met with, but also just the really cool way we've been able to connect with people in the community, the non-veteran population, has kind of given you guys a way to continue to serve. So yeah,
Yes,
anything
definitely.
else? And I do want to highlight, I think it was really important, if you heard what Jesse said earlier on, even though, people may question sometimes our morals and how, we sometimes do things, we do not let people drive who do not have valid current driver's licenses. That is something that Tammy has carried on, not only from her days at Walter Reed, but until now. So I think that was really important to highlight. And thank you, Jesse, for...
It was current. I just didn't have it.
But you couldn't drive until you did. And I think
I know.
that can be misconstrued that, maybe people think that we're bending rules or working in the gray areas, but that is one non-negotiable.
And I didn't try to drive without it. I was just trying to get on the schedule. There's a difference. Don't paint me in that picture.
I'm just saying, I appreciate that you...
I'm only a rule breaker when I'm not being recorded.
Right. All right. Well, now we are going to flip it over
Julie.
to the star of the show.
That's me.
I'm giving you center stage.
Oh, center stage. All right.
So our third and final DRCE employee.
Hello. I guess I'll just go for it like the rest of them. I was born with dwarfism, specifically spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia congenita. You can say that 5 times fast and I'll give you $5. Just kidding. I don't have $5 to give. My mom knew that I was going to be a dwarf, or I guess both my parents knew that I was going to be a dwarf before I was born. So they were making sure they were asking all the right questions. I was on track with everyone else, except for my height. When it came time for me to drive, we literally had no idea where to start. My dad was the biggest helper in that department. he was like, I want you on the road. Let's find out how to do this. Anybody here who has healthcare professional parents knows just how worried they are about safety and things like that. I just happen to be lucky and have two healthcare professional parents. So my mom was very concerned about the airbag, specifically. Wanted to make sure that that was safe and in a good place, making sure I didn't have to do anything special with that. So as one does, we started Googling. This was around 2018, 2019. It was winter time, and yeah, then we got
How old were you?
barely 15 and a half, which in Virginia is the age that you have to be to start
Permit.
to get your permit. Yeah. So barely 15 and a half. We started on Google, you know, who can install pedal extensions.
Had to decide between pedal extensions.
Yeah, had to decide between pedal extensions. Like nothing popped up. It was dang near impossible. Then we just started calling like mechanics, just local mechanics. They had no solution. They were like, well, maybe we can make something. We also had a lot of trouble with getting people to answer the phone. And then I guess just one day, my dad stumbled upon Driver Rehab Center, gave them a call, and I think I was on the book the very next weekend with Tammy herself. And I was like shocked when I walked in, and she was like, all right, you ready to drive? And I was like, wait, I'm going to be driving today? That was very shocking. So yeah, I started driving. I now drive with hand controls, not pedal extensions. It was just the safer option for me. My pedal extensions would have had to be, I think it was something like 12 inches long, and that wasn't a very safe option, as well as I wouldn't have been far enough away from the steering wheel for the airbag to be at a safe distance away from me. So I drive with a hand control and a spinner knob and a cushion for comfort, but that's about it.
And I think we have a couple of pictures of you in action.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Are there people screaming in the background?
Appropriate photos of Julie were the hardest to find.
Oh, that's actually impressive. You beat me up.
Oh, look at that. I got some good pictures here. So the bottom right is where it was like my first or maybe second driving lesson with Tammy. I was in our Ford Fusion, and yes, she is still kicking to this day. Looks like I was driving with a left side hand control and a spinner knob, and with a pillow behind my back. I think I was also using a booster seat because it was a sedan. It just
sat too low.
So yeah, booster seat. Top right was my second car, which was a Jeep. We won't talk about that, but same thing, except the hand control was on the right. There wasn't enough room for it on the left in that car, but it's pretty easy. I'm pretty ambidextrous, so at least in that manner. The middle picture with it, which I think Tammy is most proud of, happy about, is when I got to paint my parking spot for my senior year of high school. And if you can't read it, it says, "And though she be but little, she is fierce." My favorite quote, it's a Shakespeare quote, because something that was really important to me was staying on track with my peers. I didn't want to go off and not be driving because I was already so much different than everybody else. It was very important to me, and I got to paint my parking spot like everyone else, and yeah. Oh, and on the left is me and my dog, because if you don't know me, I love animals. Wearing my dwarfism awareness t-shirt. Yeah.
So how did you get to working at DRCE?
Oh, that's a story. So I came back to DRCE to get my Jeep Renegade modified. And at the time, I was working at Giant. Trista thinks it's hilarious. I don't know. I don't get it.
You don't get it, really?
I'm 4'4", okay? Well, 4'2", 4'4". Yeah.
Depends what shoes you're wearing.
Yeah. I was working at Giant. I didn't really love it. They weren't very
In
accommodating.
case anybody else outside of this area watches it, Giant is a chain of grocery stores here. It's just called Giant. So
Anyways, I was working at Giant and Susie. And Tammy was like, "You want a job?" And I was like, "Of course I want a job." And so every day for a year and a half, I commuted for, I think it was actually 2 years. That might have been a lie. 2 years. I commuted from Woodbridge, Virginia to Chantilly. And if anybody knows that commute,
It's not that bad.
horrible.
It's not that bad.
Oh, it's horrible. I now live a lot closer. Thank the Lord. I came in, okay, Marcus.
Yeah.
He drives way further. I came in as an admin answering the phones, and now I have since been upgraded to the bookkeeper, accounting. I believe my official title is billing administrator. That's what it is.
This is
I don't know that you were upgraded, Julie. You built your own position and department,
I guess
which
I
was
did.
much needed.
When we started, we didn't quite have an official billing area.
Getting a lot of reactions, a lot of hands clapping and hearts, which also will attest to, since we didn't have billing before that and we had no way to
You mean when you called me in to just come do collections for you guys?
Oh, that was good.
Yes, we are a small business, so we have utilized our clients turned staff to also help collect payment on things. And what else do you do outside of working at DRCE?
I play with my pets a lot. I have 2 dogs and a cat. Love them dearly. Hang out with my family. That's important to me. And I'm also the secretary for the local Little People of America chapter. And I've recently gotten involved with Little People of America National Conference, being on the committee there. So, and I just got back from California, my first official time being on the committee at the conference, which was pretty cool. And I'm about to graduate from George Mason University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Did I forget anything? Am I good?
I was just going to ask what you were doing for school.
That's it.
No questions in the chat box yet, so I will turn it over to our audience. I know Dan Allison has to have questions.
Of course. Well, first I kind of dying to know what Jesse Studebaker is, what model is. I know he said a 50, but more specifics on
1950 Studebaker champion.
Champion. All right.
It's got the bullet nose, the aircraft style front nose.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Dan, we'll let you know when that project.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Dan can come up and help restore her. And Dan will keep you posted, and you can come up for that project.
Also, I have a question for Julie.
Oh.
Sometimes it appears you have decreased cervical rotation.
Oh, I didn't even mention that. Thanks, Dan.
And I wonder if you use any accommodations for that, or if you twisted the trunk, or if you've tried any video stuff.
Something that my mom was terrified of. I think she's here today. But yeah, I am fused from occiput to C5. I don't know. So I have very limited range of motion in my neck. I got a big rear view mirror. We did get one of those off of Amazon. Turns out that wasn't that helpful. But Tammy did introduce me to the small blind spot mirrors for my first
The
vehicle.
fish eyes.
Yeah, the fish eyes. And those really helped. But now, thank goodness, with technology, there's blind spot cameras. And that's really all I need.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with a backup camera. I had to have backup camera because about that too.
So I have to say, I have ridden with Julie. Julie drove her and I from to Pittsburgh to a concert on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And I don't know, Julie, do I share the whole story?
I've survived Julie before driving with her. So.
Julie is an excellent driver, and we actually had a glaring distraction in the lane next to us. For those who have driven the Pennsylvania Turnpike, you know it's 2 lanes, Jersey walls the whole way, lots of 18-wheelers. But we were getting passed on the right. This car was kind of, I don't know, like playing around. They kept slowing down and
Speeding
you
up.
could
It's
tell
not like
they
they
were,
weren't paying attention.
yeah, they were kind of taunting us. And Julie's like, I'm just going to, do the safe thing and I'm going to pass them. And as we were passing them, we were given a show from the driver in the driver's position of his full bare butt outside the window while his friend in the passenger seat held the wheel. Julie and I did not know what to do.
And from then on, I'm pretty sure I was going 35 miles an hour down the Pennsylvania Turnpike behind a semi truck.
We tried to get out of their line of sight immediately.
Yeah.
And it was to this day, one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
As someone who even grew up in Pennsylvania, Bella's commenting, that's amazing. We got moon. We did. It was a full moon. And also impressive because I don't know. But even in all of that happening, Julie maintained her lane position and she got us out of there safely to the Luke Combs concert where we had a heck of a good time.
That was an amazing time.
I was going to say, I harassed Julie, but I've let her drive my vehicles multiple times. So,
yeah. Julie, Tammy asked in the chat, how did your family feel about your driving and how did it affect their lives?
Was that question for everyone, Tammy, or just for me?
Oh, I guess.
She said everyone. I heard her.
through the wall.
Oh, okay. So we'll start with you, Julie, since
Okay.
you're up.
I think my parents were nervously excited. Excited because they could send me to the store for milk and eggs, but nervous because I was going to be on the road and be more independent, and they couldn't keep as good of control as me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And then Jesse, I know you mentioned driving probably saved your
Yeah.
marriage. Anything else with how it affected
I mean,
you and your family?
The day I got my van, I went to, I took my daughters to a ballet in Annapolis. And then the next week I drove, or actually a couple days later, I drove us all to New York City. And then the week after that, I drove straight to Florida in my truck. So I think in that first year between my van and my truck, I put like 50,000 miles on the two of them put together. I was constantly on the road.
Same.
So being not just for trips, but being able to drive all of that stuff, it took a lot of pressure off my wife. It made me be able to be a dad again and take my daughters to everything they needed to go to. And now they're old and drive themselves. So
How was that teaching them to drive?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, not that I would ever break the rules, but they may have learned to drive a little younger just because I had at the time I had a right-hand control, so I could take them to a parking lot and I could sit in the passenger seat and like had an emergency brake if needed. So they learned how to navigate through parking lots.
Don't take notes from this guy.
But honestly, the hand control made it really easy to teach them. When you think about it, it's kind of funny. You're teaching them in a $100,000 vehicle when it's all said and done. But yeah,
expensive.
no, I definitely have the demeanor to teach my daughters more than my wife did. So it got put on me to teach them.
Be a little bit more patient.
You know.
All right, and Josh, how about you with your family and your
Yeah.
dynamics?
Well, I could think of two experiences that I think were important. I think people can relate. The first one was, and I feel like it's almost like sinning today, is I took myself through the drive-through by myself, right? So that was a very like moment, you know, like in your life. You're like, wow, I could go through the drive-through again. And the second one, obviously for me, was going on a date, right? Like being able to drive my own car and they get in the passenger seat. And I was like, wow, I'm back in control again. So like, again, there's all these like different moments in your life where you're just thankful that I was able to drive again.
Okay, I have to ask, what drive-through you go to? You don't strike me as a fast
I
food guy.
know. Like I said, I was sitting in the first one, McDonald's. McDonald's is my
Wow.
my
Would
guilty
not
pleasure.
guess that.
Yeah.
And they've got that snack wrap.
Ooh, the snack wrap's back.
It
Yeah.
is.
The double cheeseburger and French fries. It's hard to replicate the French fries anywhere else, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
That's what I'm saying, Dan.
So Dan just posted in the chat that negotiating drive-throughs should be a part of every driving evaluation. And I think here, at least at our Chantilly site at DRCE, I think almost all of our clients with all of our driver rehab specialists, that becomes part of their training to go through a drive-through. We've had some funny stories, some not so funny stories. We've actually had clients who've gotten stuck in drive-throughs when they try to go through on their own. But yes. And gas, yes, Susie mentioned in gas stations.
I still think we need to do the service dog thing at some point.
Do you care to elaborate? Is it appropriate,
Would
Jesse?
you like me to elaborate? That's Tammy's thing. That one's Tammy's baby, her idea. Tammy, would you like to elaborate on that one?
I would not. Just keep watching our YouTube channel. You might see a dog driving a car one day.
Our secrets.
No, we can't give all our secrets away. I would like to say to all of you, it's really cool. You know, this is not the Tammy Fipps show, but I do appreciate all three of you giving your, driving stories and meeting me. And this is my dream, to be able to be here today and sharing our journey with other people and just empowering people with disabilities. And you guys are like ambassadors plus. And I also want everybody to know that I have driven with each one of you. And I know that each one of you would rather not ride with me. So I have, Josh has ridden with me. Josh has followed me. He's like, I can't do this anymore. You follow me. Apparently I drive too conservatively for every one of you. So now my dream in life is always to have had a chauffeur. So I'm happy to be passenger princess.
Sorry.
You're all better than me.
Tammy, when we get passed in Amish country by buggies, yes.
See, I've had the opposite experience. I think Tammy drives like she talks, so it's very dynamic. And so as Tammy's telling a story while driving and her hands are going, the vehicle is also going.
Something like that.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to ride with Josh. I think I rode with Jesse
Yeah, you
one
did.
time.
I don't think I've ridden with Josh either.
Josh probably doesn't want us in his car because we'll mess it up.
It's true.
Josh has the cleanest car.
Oh, I bet.
Okay, Susie asked, when it comes to life with your disability, what do you think people most commonly get wrong? Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Josh, I'll start with you.
Ooh, that's a pretty big question. But I think obviously, and I still admire a lot of people that I look forward to, and I think accepting the challenge in your mind, if it's something you want to do, it's possible, right? And I think the first hurdle is always the mental hurdle. If you can get past that, your physical disability won't hold you back.
It's very true.
I would say the thing that people get wrong the most, I know Josh has heard this plenty, but how many places you show up to and they're like, you drove? You can drive? A lot of people just assume if you're in a wheelchair, you can't drive, that's not an option. That one you hear a lot.
Same thing with being short.
Being the idea of quadriplegic is easily constantly misunderstood. They're like, no, you're not a quadriplegic, you're paralyzed.
People
I mean,
think like,
even in hospitals, they don't know the difference at times. So quadriplegia versus, and for those out there who don't know the difference, quadriplegia just means you have some impairment in all four limbs. Doesn't mean you are completely and totally useless in all four limbs. It means you have some impairment. So like, I'm a fake quad because I have more hands than I should, but I can't bring my fingers apart. I have no muscle in my thumb or index finger. But that's about as functional as it gets for a quad. But yeah, there's a difference. So I think those are the things that get probably wrong the most, is the one that constantly, you can drive.
For me, I think it's two things for me. The first one being people don't want to ask questions and don't teach their children to ask questions. But nine times out of 10, anybody with a disability is happy to answer questions you have. We much prefer that, and I don't speak for everyone, but it's much preferred that than staring or pointing or whispering to your kids.
Or avoiding us.
Or avoiding us completely.
Yeah.
We're not monsters. We don't bite. We're not, well.
Julie.
I have scars on my knees.
The second thing that a lot of people get wrong is you can't. That's in no way true. I think Josh and Jesse both know that. We hear the word we can't and we turn that into, oh, we're going to. Just like driving.
Yeah. Touching on what Julie was saying too is, what were you saying a second ago before that? I'm losing my mind.
Questions, people ask.
Oh yeah, questions. A lot of people, like kids, naturally want to come up and ask questions. The parents will act like, no, you can't. And it's like, no, let them ask questions. Encourage the kids. And I encourage anyone to ask questions, because at that point you can choose to be ignorant or you can choose to learn.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, all right. I just have to say this. The number one question I get, though, especially being when I went to Walter Reed. I don't know if anybody knows about Walter Reed, but the kid comes to me and he looks at me, he looks down, he looks at me, he looks down, he goes, "Why are you in a wheelchair? You have legs."
Yeah, your ankle, is your leg broken? That was my favorite feature.
I get the kid because all Walter Reed is the home of amputees, right? So everyone he saw ever in a wheelchair didn't have anybody that had legs. And the first time he saw me, he was like, wait a minute. You have legs. What's wrong with you? And I'm trying to explain, well, it's my back, and like, how do you explain a spinal cord injury to a 7-year-old, right? But
all right, Dan asked Jesse, do you think you will require steering modifications for the Studebaker?
I don't think I will, to be honest with you. I have pretty strong arms, and a fairly strong grip, so I don't think I will need steering modifications.
Okay.
It will probably, I believe when we swap the motors on it, we kept the power steering from the Mustang, so we'll have power steering on it. So it won't be traditional rack and pinion. I think I could drive a rack and pinion car, but it would definitely wear me out after a while, especially at low speeds.
I mean, don't be surprised. I have a feeling Dan's going to show up here one day. Once we get closer to that project end date.
Oh, yeah, he will.
All right. And Bella, thank you for chiming in here. Bella says you guys are doing great things. And Bella would like to know, do you think it's harder to learn how to drive where you are compared to other places? So I'm assuming, Bella, you mean like driving in their local area versus new places, or?
Or she's talking about the DC area.
Or just the DC.
Well, Jesse and I were drivers previously,
Yeah,
Oh, that's true. I guess.
It didn't take us long.
yeah, metro area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that'd be
do
better
see
for
it.
Julie to answer because, like Josh said, we both kind of drove, so it's just getting used to driving with your hands, and then it's driving again. So
That's
Julie,
true.
But I will say, when you guys were doing your driver rehab at Walter Reed, the first place Tammy was taking you was like on the Capitol Beltway,
yeah,
which, as someone who, so I was working over at Bethesda Naval, and I heard about this crazy lady over in DC at Walter Reed that was taking all these, wounded warriors out on the Beltway. I was like, well, that's nuts. Who would do that? 8 years later, here I am working here.
Yeah.
But okay, Bella clarified, just meaning like driving in the DC metro area compared to other places like in the country.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm sure country itself is easier in general, just with
Yeah.
less traffic. But you started out that way, and I've been driving in cities for plenty of years. Josh, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that it's the driving in areas that you're familiar with is easier, but I also appreciate the challenge of learning to drive somewhere new. And city driving is definitely a challenge. Just getting used to all the different rules of the road. But I really liked, it was definitely harder for me to learn how to drive here in Chantilly when I was doing my driver training with Tammy versus driving back home in Woodbridge, where I knew, and I was a very I paid attention to a lot of things when I was a kid. So I knew, where to turn if I wanted to go to the mall, and things like that. So I kind of already had an idea of where.
But since I've been driving, my favorite experience has been summer when it's at night and you roll down the window and you feel the fresh air and you got the radio blasting. That's my happy place driving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, especially the back roads. Get out in the Virginia countryside on the back roads.
I love driving on back roads.
Just nice.
Now, Josh, is it radio or is it financial podcast blasting?
It's the radio if the windows are going
If the
down.
windows are down. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
It's
think you guys
business
have
wrap.
Summer asked in the chat, what is your favorite place you've driven? I'm hearing a lot of country roads, windows down.
Okay, it was not my favorite time when I was driving the silver van. However, driving to Ohio a couple of times, the views were unlike any other. Also, I've driven to Georgia a couple times. I mean, driving on the 95 corridor is not fun, but my mom and I once got a little lost when going to Georgia. And we had just come into Georgia and we took all these back roads. We were in this weird town. It was beautiful, but it was weird. That was fun. Oh yes, I do. I am also able to drive most of our fleet vehicles. I can drive with pretty much any hand control. Yeah.
Which is helpful for us as a business when we need to move vehicles between Ohio and Northern Virginia.
Yep.
Julie is oftentimes able to step in on a weekend and give up her weekend to schlep Bertha the silver van up to Ohio.
Never again.
Never again.
Yeah, and Summer brings up a good point. So one of our staff members, Summer, is in here, and her onboarding process was actually show up to the office in Chantilly, sign some paperwork to get on payroll, and then get in a car and ride with Julie to Ohio. And we didn't tell her anything about Julie prior to her onboarding.
And
We
she
just-
couldn't drive yet because she wasn't on the company's, policy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We felt safe. Yay!
I'm gonna circle back. I held Tammy's one question. She would like each of you to tell us one story of how you personally inspired someone else with a disability.
Oh God.
I'll go
And I'll let-
first. I'll go
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
So we got my buddy James Howard. Well, he's a personal hero of mine. James is a quadriplegic. He was a ranger qualified sapper, which is a big deal in the military. So he's kind of my manly hero. And yeah, it was really a great experience being able to see him behind the wheel again and really inspire him to get back to driving.
I just sent Brandy a picture. I don't know if she's going to be able to share it. And I forgot I had pulled this one from our website, but it is a picture of you and James here in Chantilly. I'll see if she's able to share that while Jesse and Julie are coming up with their responses.
That's what we're doing. I think I have mine. It's not necessarily inspiring a client, but inspiring a client's mom to come to us. And I'm sure,
Yep, there's James.
There.
Yeah.
So there's
like
James and his
James.
mom.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. You know James.
that's nice. I like it. I guess yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was looking at the photo. I went back when I was an administrative assistant. I was, of course, answering the phones, and I took a call for a mom who I believe her child had some sort of disability. I don't remember what the disability was. I do remember that they were going to need auto adaptive equipment. And I walked them through the entire process. She came in here and started bawling right in front of me. And I was like, oh dear, what did I do? Turns out that and Trista was standing there. I thought she was gonna like get me in trouble or something, or maybe it was Tammy. I don't remember. But she just told me how amazing it was and how amazing and patient I was to be able to explain the whole process multiple times, walk them through it, and then get them here today to be able to get the auto adaptive equipment installed.
For me, I've done a lot of mentor work.
You have.
So I've spent a lot of time with new spinal cord injuries. I've talked to them a lot. I've talked to them about driving. My favorite thing is working with paras because I can look at them and say, everything I can do, you can do better. And I can do a lot. So what? Oh, she's throwing out John. I hear Tammy from the next door room yelling, even though she's muted on
He
here.
was on one of our very first.
Yep. John, great young man, CP. I was able to it was more his parents even than him. His parents thought there was going to be a lot more limitations in his life, and I was able to put their mind at ease and make them realize what John was capable of.
And now he's doing sled hockey.
Yeah, he's always done sled hockey, but yeah, he's in college right now. Yeah, he's at Virginia Tech.
He's writing a book.
Man, yeah. And again, it was more his parents than even him, as far as just opening their eyes to everything their son was capable of. So
I think it's hard for parents to see that sometimes, and that's so important, especially like I don't know, I see that a lot just from my parents, seeing that I am capable of more than you might think, and that's no discredit to them or the parents at all. It's just showing them that they're capable of more than just having a disability.
And as Summer just reminded us in the chat, some would say it's not just driving, which is our company slogan. Dan, I see you popped in here. You have a question for Tammy and Josh.
Yeah, I just wonder, and I've had this conversation with Tammy a while ago. She's kind of a hero of mine back from 10 years ago when she started the business. You guys basically have a one-stop shop. This is a little bit rare. I don't think there's too many meter-aided people on here. But how hard has it been for you guys to walk the line of having the evaluation as well as the modification shop in the same place? And you getting any headaches from that? I mean, if you don't want to answer, I understand.
Take it away.
Thank you, Dan, for that T-ball. Initially, when we started the business, there was a lot of kind of undertone of people wondering if that was crossing the line and being conflict of interest. And my response to that is absolutely not. We have a lot of other industries that we can look to, such as urgent care clinics, right? They sell splints, they sell medicine, but you can also take your prescription to your own pharmacy. But the convenience and the just everything done, at one spot is really something that people enjoy doing. One of the biggest reasons that we chose to do a business in this way is that we wanted to be able to help manage the project. Like Josh said at the very beginning, people don't want to learn to drive, they want to drive. And if we can take out some of those steps, we can streamline, be more efficient, and get people out on the road faster. So as far as conflict of interest, there's none. We write prescriptions, and our clients are welcome to take those wherever they want to go. I will say 95% of them end up staying with us. They enjoy the customer service aspect of it. And thank
Tammy,
you, Dan, for always being a champion.
You're still Dan's hero, he wrote in the chat.
Well,
All right, we are just about out of time. You're more than welcome to stay on if people have more questions. Typically, we keep these to an hour. But we're, I don't know if we have any more questions from our audience, our attendees. I know this is a lot of DRCE staff in the meeting. This was built into their workday, put on their calendars. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So if you're looking for these later on, this will be on our YouTube channel. You can find it, follow, like, subscribe, whatever they say, for all of our socials. We don't have next month set yet for date, or I forget what all we saw, but each month we try to highlight whatever, if there is a diagnosis or disability being featured that month, and then work with clients past, present, affiliated with that. I will say this one was new to myself. I don't know about everybody else, the Disability Independence Day and Disability Pride Month, but I think we knew right away that we wanted to do this simply because we are so lucky to have members of our own organization who really fit Disability Independence Day and Disability Pride Month. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so that we can get this nicely packaged on our YouTube. But thank you all for attending. And